How's it going? Welcome to another episode. I'm that car guy, Tim. Now today is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to on this channel, because today we're going to launch our car reviews. And we're going to start out with this beautiful 2017 Subaru Impreza. Now this is the Touring Edition, the four-door sedan. It's still powered, however, by the 2-liter four-cylinder boxer motor. Subarus are famous for the boxer motors. This one cranks out 152 horsepower and 145 foot-pounds of torque. Now, there are some issues with the motor, but we'll get into that a little bit later. This is going to be a bit of a different review style than what you're probably used to. This is aimed at you, not the guy that knows every little number to be known about cars. This is how it feels to drive the car, what it's like with the car. Stuff that you care about. Stuff that you want to know, that if you're going to buy this car, well, you can go into the dealership and already know a decent amount of stuff about the car. Now, these Subaru Imprezas, the Touring Edition, starts out at about $21,000, $22,000 here in Canada, plus your taxes and all that other fun stuff. But you can get yourself into a really nice car with four-wheel drive, which Subaru has made famous with their rally cars, their WRXs, their STIs. That kind of technology is packed into a $22,000 car, and it's a blast to drive. I honestly can't wait to take this thing out in the snow. But let's hop inside and let's talk about what's under the hood and what it's like to drive. So first things first, you gotta pop the hood. Alrighty, so in this engine bay here, you can see the beautiful, well, dusty, but beautiful boxer motor. This car is used as a daily driver. And one thing to note about the Subarus is their oil filter is actually up on top here. So it makes it super easy to do an oil change. Everything's accessible. The oil dipstick is right here. Alternator, your coolant, engine oil fill, battery, and washer fluid. Now, the nice thing about the washer fluid is you don't have to try and find a way to get the jug in there. There's almost like they designed it for the jug to go here for optimal pouring. Now, one thing to note, if you do get the block heater cord is super long, so over here it's just zip tied to the body panel. One thing to note about these motors, there was a big lawsuit in the US and Canada about these motors since about 2012, I believe it is, 2011, 2012. These motors, they tend to burn a lot of oil. This engine in particular here burns about a liter of oil for every about roughly 800 kilometers. Now, it's not bad, but if you're a high mileage driver, that adds up really quick. But other than that, the engine performs great. It's an absolute blast to drive with the four-wheel drive that Subaru is famous for. It's like having a WRX on budget. So now that we've talked about the engine a little bit, let's hop inside, we'll start her up and take her for a cruise. Now, the interior in this car is just absolutely beautiful for just one level up from base. There's a nice big screen. Now, higher up models have a bigger screen, but there's another screen on top of that that shows you all sorts of different information, along with another screen that shows you even more information. There's screens galore in this car, and you know what? It's pretty handy information. It's gauges that car companies mostly took out of their vehicles back in late 80s, early 90s. Like I said, this car is beautifully appointed with air conditioning, heated seats, power windows, power mirrors, power locks, comfy seats too. This, even though it's not a sporty model, the seats still hug you. It's still a comfortable drive. And speaking of driving, let's stick it in gear and take her out for a little rip. Now, me being out in the rural area right now, living in kind of rural Alberta, there's lots of highway around. but it's still a nice drive in the city. The clutch is a little bit heavier, so when you let off the throttle, it does like to kind of keep its RPM hang there for a bit, and then it starts to go back down. It's such a good drive. It's a great driving experience. Like I said, really the only complaint I have about this car right now is the fact that it chugs more oil than an alcoholic chugs beer. But other than that, it's a beautiful car. This car has lots of passing power. It's quiet. It's really quiet in here. The Ford Focus I had before this, it was a little louder than this, but Subaru has taken the time to make sure that this ride is nice, smooth, and quiet. Engine noise, not too bad either, but it's a boxer, it's a Subaru. It's the engine you want to hear. It's the car engine that you want to hear. And for a 4-cylinder, it's got a beautiful note that Subaru has taken the time and made sure that you have just the right amount of engine noise to complement your drive, but not enough to annoy the missus trying to sleep beside you. Fuel efficiency, on the other hand, not that great. But then again, it is a full-time, all-wheel drive vehicle. So of course, your fuel efficiency isn't going to be the best. On average, I say on a full tank, usually I get about 500, 550 kilometers, which is pretty good, in my opinion. Visors, they come down now thanks to a technology that you can get in a higher up level called Subaru EyeSight. There's going to be a big, huge camera mounted to the front here. So due to that and due to the design, Subaru had to come out with these little things that slide in and out, in and out. Now they're handy, especially on a sunny day when you go do this and the sun's still in your eyes, whoop, pop it out just like that. So all in all, clever thinking from Subaru. It's a fabulous drive, a fabulous car, plenty of legroom in the back. Downshifting this car is a treat, I'd say. Like, I love downshifting in this car. So let's pull over to the scale here and we'll see how much we weigh in at. Alrighty, so with me off the scale, this car rings in at about 1,360 kilos, which is pretty good considering you have all-wheel drive, AC, and that 4-cylinder boxer motor. All in all, though, if you're willing to carry around oil in the trunk and you're willing to catch a few rocks with the stock rims, go ahead. And if you need something for winter, yeah, consider this car, the Subaru Impreza. But if you're not willing to carry around oil in the trunk, I'd stay away. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/thatcarguytim. The more you pledge, the more cool stuff we'll be able to do with cars like this and other cars we review. Thanks so much for watching.